Prom was like 3 weeks away and I was really nervous because I hadn't been asked yet, and we need to start organizing like transportation and like boutonnieres and corsages and all that stuff. But the person who I thought was going to ask me ended up asking me today. He put a rose on my windshield on my car in the parking lot with a little sticky note that said prom, and he meant to meet me at my locker and walk me down there and then be like, oh, surprise. But I didn't go to my locker first, so I went to the parking lot and I was like, I'm assuming I know who this is from, but I'm not really sure. And then he came out, obviously, so I knew that he was the one who had asked me, but it's just very much like our friendship. If it had gone smoothly, it wouldn't have really been like us, so I'm kind of glad in some ways that it wasn't exactly how it was supposed to turn out. It just really shows who we are as people. We aren't very extravagant, we're just very casual, and so it was just funny to me because it's exactly how we are, and I probably wouldn't have wanted it to be any other way. But anyway, I'm really happy. And another reason I'm really happy is because I got a letter today. I'm gonna cover my address, but there it is, and it's from my friend George from YouTube, Squidward's mate, and he's super cool. You know, when you're younger and it's your birthday or it's Christmas or whatever holidays you celebrate and you get money in the mail or you get a card in the mail, and it's just the most exciting thing to get something in the mail. So George and I started writing letters to each other just to sort of get to know each other better, and because writing letters is really fun and receiving letters is even more fun. I really like letters. I used to write letters back and forth with one of my best friends. You've seen her before, Heidi from Seattle, and I used to write letters probably once or twice a week. We stopped doing it because honestly by the time we would write letters and send them to each other, so much had changed. And I totally understand why people use phone calls and texting and Skype and all that stuff, because obviously it's faster to get information to each other. A lot can change by the time you write the letter, by the time the person receives the letter, and by the time the person gives you the letter back. So it requires a lot of patience. And when I send letters to Scotland, it's obviously not the fastest way for us to communicate, but there is something really nice about it. I realize that text communication can be saved electronically. Facebook and Skype and texting conversations automatically save as a conversation, and you can look back at that. But I think there's something very invaluable about receiving an actual letter and being able to hold it and see the person's handwriting. There's something I really like about that, so I'm excited as I'm getting ready to graduate to send out grad announcements. I get to actually send a piece of mail to family members, and they will be sending cards and stuff to me. My grad announcements came in the mail. I covered up like where I live, but here's them. It sounds really weird, but I really like addressing envelopes and like putting stamps on it. It just feels very final. It feels like this is its destination, and I really like that. I really wish we wrote letters more often. If you haven't ever written a letter, some people have never actually written a letter to somebody else. I recommend that you do it. You know, you can do it from vacation, you can send a postcard, or you can send just a letter to someone who lives either nearby or far away. Pen pals are really interesting, and I actually found when I was cleaning my room over spring break a bunch of letters that I had exchanged with a pen pal from Liberia. It was one of those things where you go online and you pay $5 or whatever, and then they send you the contact information from somebody who had done the same. And I wrote letters back and forth with a girl from Bulgaria and a girl from Liberia, and it was just really interesting to me. The girl from Bulgaria and I actually sort of got to know each other fairly well. She sent me flyers and things from cultural festivals there, and she and I decided it took too long to write to each other. We wanted to talk to each other more often. We decided to start emailing. And for me to be exposed to something like that, I didn't even know where Bulgaria was. I didn't know anything about Eastern Europe. But to have a real human connection made the world feel smaller, and that's something that I learned from a young age. Tomorrow's the last day of VEDA, and I will see you then.